on food. I know that you love cooking and there's mouth-watering most of the times, be it pasta, noodles, or anything else. So, how do you manage to stay fit in spite of eating them?
I'm a foodie, so I don't prefer going on any diet to lose weight or any such thing. In fact, I have tried diets. It's not that I've not, but I what I have seen is the more I restrict my body from not eating anything, I get stressed out and I get sad and I end up binge eating later on. So I don't want to
Hmm.
get into that. I want to have a balance of whatever it is. And since I started cooking in the last 1 year, especially since the pandemic, I've started, seeing what is nice, what is clean eating. So basically,
Right.
even if I'm cooking pasta, even if I'm cooking noodles, I try to go with the gluten-free option or the wheat option to make sure that whatever I'm giving my body, it is clean. You don't have to say no to everything. You can just make sure what you're eating is healthy. For example, potato fries. You can switch potatoes with sweet potato as well, and it is yum. So, and when people say, potatoes are not good, I think everything is important in its own way. We need to find a balance of how much carbs you require, how much proteins you require, everything, because each of it has its important, and it is really required for your body also. And another thing is, since I am cooking, I'm a person who doesn't really eat these peanuts, walnuts, cashew nut, and all those things. But what I started doing, because I don't eat it normally, I put it in sauce.
Okay.
So in that way, my body is getting the nutrients required. Even this flax seeds, it's very like important, especially for
Yes.
women. It's very important. But normally, nobody can just eat a spoonful of flax seeds, or even if you put it in normal things, you wouldn't really like how it looks or anything. You can
True.
just try it in some sauces, grind it with tomatoes and garlic and all those things. You really don't know flax seeds is in that, but it's there. Your body is getting it. So in that way, I've tried to find a balance between what I'm cooking, what I'm eating, and my workout. And I obviously indulge in some days pizzas and everything, but I think you need to strike a balance between everything.
And that's true. Very well said, Vidya. That's actually very important, right? Because our cravings are something which we cannot stop. We are humans and we love food. So it's
Yeah,
very important to replace it with healthy food, like the way you mentioned about sweet potatoes and the normal potatoes. So that's
yeah.
actually good. So Vidya, how do you balance cooking, workouts, work on daily basis?
I think it's very important, especially in this lockdown period and everything, to find time for yourself.
Very
And for me, one way that I found myself in this lockdown is by staying active, doing some workouts, and cooking. And you need to compartmentalize everything that you have, like be it work, be it your other hobbies. You need to compartmentalize time and make sure you're giving enough time, because I think everybody has enough time. It's just that they don't know how to go about organizing and say, okay, 9, if I wake up at 9, I'm going to do this 9 to 10, 10 to 11, I am going to do this. So I think it's very important to stick to a schedule and a routine and make sure you get what your body requires. Because in the long term, when you're working continuously in front of the laptop morning to evening, maybe you don't realize it today or tomorrow, but your body is going to start realizing it a few years later. So it's better we know that okay, our body does require some form of activity. Let us get into it. Even if it's just 20 minutes, go do some physical activity. So I think I make sure that I stick to a routine. And as I said, if I miss out on a workout, I'm very restless. I feel like, okay, something is wrong, something is wrong. So I try not to miss out a workout at all. So because
okay.
I'm so addicted to working out, I think I make time no matter what, morning, afternoon, evening, anytime. I make sure I get in a
That's amazing. At the way you mentioned about it being an addiction, and you get restless because you're sitting, yeah, and your job is a desk job as of now because of COVID. You're sitting within four walls, and it's very important for you to give your muscles some movement,
activities.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing, Vidya. So, Vidya, we know that you love coffee, especially filter. I still remember you love filter coffee.
Yeah.
And many coffee lovers out there, they think that, if you're into this fitness and stuff, you'll have to reduce or stop drinking coffee. So, what's your take on it?
I cannot reduce my intake of coffee no matter what people say. But again, I think it is important you listen to what your body is trying to tell you. For me, having a cup of black coffee before my workout has helped me a lot. I
Okay.
stuck to that. It was not something somebody told me to do, or it was not that something I read about it or anything like that. I used to drink black coffee and go for a workout. And then I was like, oh, I'm doing this. Then I searched on Google, will it help? And I
Okay.
realized it does help. It does help you in your workout. It's a good pre workout drink. So I continued that. So I think you need to listen to your body. If your body is trying to tell you something, please listen to it and say, okay, let me switch over from coffee to something better. For me, luckily till now, I'm very happy with my coffee schedule. And yes, sometimes I do cut back on coffee. For example, if I like want to sleep in early or something like that, I try to reduce my caffeine intake for the day. But other
Okay.
than that, my coffee schedule, I don't think it's over like an addiction or anything. It's in a
Mhm.
moderate level where I try to keep it moderate.
Nice. That's amazing. So, Vidya, people say that books are your close friends, right? And
Yeah.
it's equal to 100 friends, and it's more loyal to you. And I know that you love reading books. In fact, during my internship days, you've lent me two books to read as well. I still remember that. So, how have they helped you in this journey?
Um, I think books gave me a way to imagine about a different world, live in a different world, live in a different environment, learn about people, how they are. And I think when you're young, you're growing up, you read such books, you have an imagination about yourself. You set some expectations. You say, okay, I want to be like this person. It's
Yes.
just a combination of characters in the book, and you say, I want to become this person, I want to become this confident. So I think that reading books also helped me to set an expectation for how I should be in my lifestyle, in my general life, not only fitness, professional, anything. To be in my life, I think all these characters shaped some expectation into me, some confidence level into me. So when I read books, I think it's a way for me to escape from this world, escape from here, and say, okay, there is something beyond all of this somewhere out there. So that
Nice.
is why I stuck on to reading books than watch movies or anything, because in books the characters are explicitly described so well that you cannot get that out of a movie or anything. So the more you read about the character, you understand, you get into their shoes, and your perception changes. You start looking at
True.
things in a different way. And I think every time you're in one book, you start mimicking their characters a little bit when you're so into one book, and then you move on to the next book, something from that character speaks to you, you start mimicking that in your lifestyle. So that's how it has been for me. Like every character has spoken a little to me, and I'm like, okay, I want to be like her, I want to be like this person, like that.
Nice. That's amazing.
Stay active and stay healthy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.